Hello and welcome to WhatKeepsYouAwake.tv. It's time again to dive into the hustles, the hurdles, and the highs that keep small business leaders up at night. I'm your host, David Hooser, and I'm especially excited to welcome today's guest, Art Bejarano. Art is the CEO of his core company, Integrity Engineering and Design Solutions, and now is in the funding stages for a new business called Cogen, LLC. He's grown IEDS over the past 24 years, but first had to overcome a few common stages called anxiety and fear of the unknown. Art, welcome to the show.
Thank you, David. I really appreciate being here.
Well, it's good to have you, my friend. Let's get started with our foundational questions for you, okay?
Perfect.
So tell me, as an entrepreneur inspired by boredom, what keeps you awake late at night?
Well, initially, being inspired by boredom, just a quick little rationale behind it is that I always had felt every job that I had prior to starting my business, I was pigeonholed into specific tasks, duties, and that just wasn't enough for me.
Wanted to explore.
Expand
your boundaries.
Absolutely, and I had a lot more capability to offer than what they were asking me to be able to do.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, what better way to be able to do this than to start my own business?
So you could have just picked up a hobby, maybe golf or something, right?
I did that too.
You did that too, out of the boredom.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it had to have been because I really am bad at it. But
that's right.
But as far as pretty much what kept me up at night was the starting a new business is challenging, especially, the educational system hasn't really been supportive of teaching kids to how to become entrepreneurs.
Finance, any of that.
Finance, nothing.
But did you just jump? Or because you had a corporate job, so you got a little safety net there. Did you just sever and go out on your own, or did you kind of
it was cold turkey.
Cold turkey.
Turkey. I went ahead and had discussed it with a coworker of mine that I had known for a couple of years, and he wasn't happy. And I kept kind of pursuing, hey, we can do this. I know how to set up the company. I know how to be able to do certain things.
Okay.
I had actually had a job in sales, so that made it a little bit easier. I hadn't really sold this particular type of service and product, and so as it turned out, he said, "Let's do it," and we literally got started with very little money up front.
Okay. So you just took your savings account and said, I'm going on my own, hanging up my shingle, and here I go.
Absolutely.
And you had a partner.
I had a partner, and we did quite well. Fortunately, we did make an announcement to a lot of our customers that they were no longer going to be able to contact us for the work that we had. And they go, well, wait a minute, So I didn't want to go out saying I was soliciting, but we had to at least inform them about not being able to continue doing business with them. But then several of them started coming back to us saying, no, we like your work. We like what you guys have done, how you've treated us. So we were able to, from October to December, we were able to make $250,000.
Wow. And your first quarter of operation, you made $250,000.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a good way to get that company stood up.
Oh, absolutely. And those weren't things that actually kept me awake. What actually kept me awake was when we start finding out that some of the customers didn't pay for 30, 45, not net 90, and now I've got one that's net 180.
They don't pay for 6 months. I'd love to have that product. Consume today and pay 6 months. It sounds like the Hamburglar.
Oh, yeah. And it's just the way of being able to do business. And understandably so, there's some rationale behind it. But boy, does it it really hurts the small business guy.
Cash flow it. Yeah.
For cash flow. So I was able to I kept exploring, finding out, talking to people, talking to banks, and started finding ways of being able to bridge that gap. And then we had no problem with it after that.
So let's go back to the beginning. The business, the function you were in was an engineering function?
It was primarily printed circuit board layout design.
Okay.
We take the
Okay.
schematics and
PCB
create
design.
this PCB design.
Okay. And that's what you were doing before you went out on your own. Is that what you continued to do?
Well, actually, what happened was the company started that I was working for was starting to lose money, and he was getting into a position of possibly having to close that
Yeah,
office. And
right.
I was like, well, I don't want to be out of a
Yeah.
job.
So, okay.
So hey, let me
It's a
jump in there
defensive
and let
move,
me
right.
go ahead and jump into sales. I'll start selling it, and I turned out to be
Okay.
pretty successful
Okay.
reaching out and building the business.
Got it. Okay. So you transitioned to save the existing business and then realized, okay, well, I know how to do this and
Exactly.
may as well be my own boss.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then but you stayed in the same space.
We did.
So you learned from doing for quote unquote corporate America, which is what I did, and then transitioned on to your first endeavor on your own, and it lasted 24 years so
Absolutely.
far and going.
Absolutely, and it was quite a challenge. But one of the exciting parts about it was we just didn't want to do printed circuit board layout design.
Okay.
We had an agreement that we're going to build this into an engineering company, and
Okay.
so we changed the name from the corporate name from Integrity PCB Design to Integrity Engineering and Design Solutions.
Okay.
So that's the evolution on
to
that.
encompass and so how big did IEDS get? What was kind of the range of revenues and or employee counts that you had?
Well, in 2008, we hit the economic recession, but at that time we were at $740,000 a year.
Okay.
And then 2008, 2009 lost probably a little over 50% of the revenue coming in.
All right.
And that was one of my hair-pulling experiences. And it just turned out I had to have a very serious talk with my wife about, you know what, I don't want to have to go back to becoming an employee again.
Sure.
I think I'm going to just do what I need to do. And I was pulling some money out of the savings to do it. But my biggest part was venturing into communicating with a lot of people, getting out there, just
Networking.
kind of fluffing the feathers, just trying to get something stirred. And sure enough, I was talking to competitors. I was talking to companies that were missing the type of services that we offered. And this is when we were able to land a pretty sizable contract with Honeywell for the Orion Space Crew vehicle.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we did that.
PCB engineering.
Oh, we were building specialized test equipment to test the
Building
navigation equipment for the Orion crew vehicle.
Wow, sounds exciting.
So we were partnered up with another company that that did all the software for it, and because of that, we went from $440,000 to $880,000 the following year, and then $4.8 million the year after that. And that actually our revenue increase got us the Inc. 5000 3 years in a row.
And this particular client was a little bit outside of your normal client relationships. I mean,
we had been doing some work with them before, but only within a specialized area.
Exactly.
And so what we wound up doing was they had come to us because they were approximately about 3 months behind schedule on the specialized test equipment. And they asked me if I could do it. I said, definitely.
Of course you say yes.
Yeah, of course. And within less than 10 business days, I had the entire team, everything put into place. We won the contract and we got started, and we delivered our part 3 months ahead of schedule.
Sounds like a small company a few of us may have heard of, Microsoft, right? Going to IBM saying, we got you covered. And then leaving the meeting going, oh, shit, we got the contract. What do we do?
Exactly.
But you had to do what you had to do. So
Absolutely.
You didn't throw in the towel when the going got tough. I doubled down on doing things that were grassroots.
Absolutely.
Getting your network, rallied behind you. So,
absolutely.
Well, that's very cool. It's a good story. That's a story to tell. And then, so what happened after that? Are you still in that same focus?
We're still in the same focus. We're constantly taking on new clients, more printed circuit board layout design. We're coming across a lot of work where we're reworking older designs to bring them up to date, and we have a high level of expertise in that particular area.
Okay.
We're still doing systems engineering, program management for a number of other companies, and it's working quite well for us.
And you're based in Arizona?
Scottsdale, yes.
In Scottsdale, okay. And most of your team works on site, or are they remote
Actually,
workers?
that was the beauty of what we did is we went ahead and the majority of our people work off-site,
Okay.
and we do have some people that work on-site with our customers, depending on what the
I see.
requirements are.
Yeah.
But being able to do that, we don't have and carry a high overhead, which makes it a lot better and a lot easier to be able to do this work.
Okay. And most of your clients are Arizona based, or are you?
No, actually, we have them nationwide right now.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
All tech-based companies.
Yes.
Okay. But tell us a little more about
DOD and aerospace.
okay,
some space,
so
yeah.
you do some government
Yeah.
contracts. So you've been struggling a little bit, though, in some of the aspects of your company, finding the qualified resources you need for these jobs, I guess.
Yes, I'll backtrack just a little bit. When I did what I did for the Orion Space Crew Vehicle and bringing the team together, I developed a process that I trademarked called Flex Interface.
Okay.
Project fulfillment. And what it is being able to find the right person with the right expertise, the right talent, and match it up to the requirements of that specific job. And because of this, I was able to find all these people within 10 business days.
Okay.
And then, so I did it for that. I worked on
So you had built a kind of a pseudo platform to use yourself, kind of your own little hiring resource network
right.
tool, and you deployed that, and that's one of the reasons you won the contract.
Absolutely.
So
And
you're a true entrepreneur,
Well,
what I
and-
would call serial entrepreneur, creating ways
Absolutely.
to optimize your internal production needs.
Absolutely. And we did the same thing for Virginia class submarines, where the customer needed some equipment built for them for the Virginia class subs, and they only needed 600. The prime contractor that originally did it only said, "Hey, we'll only build you 10,000," and this is for the government. And so
Interesting.
they asked us, and they asked if we could do it, and I said again, "Yeah,
Yes.
of course." So I went ahead and pulled the right team together. We, matter of fact, we built them, and we had to get our a small shop certified and for quality
Right, for
processes and
DoD.
everything else. And we were very successful on it. Delivered the 600 parts that they needed. We only had 2 failures out of the entire batch. And so when I realized, wait a minute, this is kind of a nice process. It's worked. We're
Got it.
successful with it.
Got it.
So I hired a virtual assistant to contact a lot of people on LinkedIn because I wanted to find out, is this a viable process that
Would
could be
they
used?
sign up? Would they use the platform?
Yeah, and contacted nearly over 800 people, set up a lot of 15-minute phone calls that wound up going 45.
Right.
And there was a 83% interest in it.
Wow.
And what finalized it for me was the last person that I had contacted was a director over at JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratories. And he goes, "Art, are you going to put this into an app?" And at that point, I think I had sweat coming down. I was like, oh my God, these people are serious. And so how am I going to be able to do it? And I said, it's going to have to be an app. So for the last several years, I've been working on putting it together an app so that it's getting away from the conventional process of using, the big platforms,
Sure.
Monster.com, Career
Indeed.
Builders, that type of
Right.
thing, and to where engineers talk to engineers.
Okay.
And you can line them up to where I could find you within this platform once we
Based
have
on
the
skills, based on
skills, talent, and expertise.
Okay. So you had used this informally through your own system. Let's just call it the Excel spreadsheet version.
Exactly.
And then it worked for you in connecting your needs for the projects you were taking on to the resources. Now, is this more of a kind of a gig type? Is it project by project, contract based?
I find that I didn't have, and well, first of all, going back and looking at it, we don't have we don't do the same projects all the time.
Yeah, right.
And we wanted to grow, wanted to expand. So yes, it is on a project by project basis, and we bring the talent in as we need them. We bring them in basically as a contingent workforce.
Sure.
Hire them as W-2 employees or 1099 subcons, and we just run with it until that project is complete.
Okay, all right. And so the transition to an app-based tool for anyone to use. Now, of course, you'll and probably do still put your projects through it.
Absolutely.
So can it do more for the user, not the resource, but for me to do project costing and?
Absolutely. Well, it's set up so that as businesses, and especially I take a look at this where small, medium, and large all businesses can be able to really find huge benefits. I mean, cost savings is going to be phenomenal because, I mean, what is it? 18 to 25, 28% commissions for finding somebody that's
Yes.
120,000.
It's a big fee.
So if I can find you that same talent and you're just paying for the posting,
Right.
that's a huge difference.
That's a big difference.
But a lot of these large corporations have to overhire for attrition,
Right.
almost 20 to 25% of their
Yeah, that's a
force.
good point.
Now you're paying for all this salary,
Right.
waiting for people to, waiting for the project to start or whatever. And that's cost.
Cost has to go somewhere.
It's going someplace.
It's going into the
So
price
why-
that the customers are paying, or it comes into your margin, one of the two.
Exactly. And so rather doing that, why not go ahead and bring the people on? Because within my platform,
Specifically, right.
within my platform, I can find the right engineers, and you could probably have them in an interview room within 10 business days.
Okay. All right. So
And-
it short cycles it. It also cost reduces the overall resource
Absolutely.
component of a project.
And then small businesses that would love to be able to grow,
It gives them
gives
visibility.
them visibility, and
Okay.
it also helps them to expand their product line or their service
Okay.
line as
So
well.
is that what the new business is all about?
Cogen. Yes.
Okay. So Cogen will be the app, the platform for project managers to find resources, or project companies
Yes.
to find the resources they need for specific programs that they bid on.
Exactly. And we're doing this primarily for the space, aerospace, Department of
Okay.
Defense, medical, and telecom. But we do have plans on growing it into other professions,
Okay.
other verticals.
Interesting. So do you envision any changes to your existing to IEDS? Are you still going to keep, or do
I'm
you see
going to keep it.
it enhancing? The new platform will enhance the capabilities and help you grow the core
Absolutely.
business.
Absolutely. It's important to be able to keep it because I have my AS 9100 certification. I have my
okay.
ISO 9000.
Yep.
I already have the banking already set up. So if individuals want to be able to get hired or come on board to work on particular projects for another company, I could hire them and then outsource them to those
And do
companies
outsourcing.
and be able to pay them on time.
Okay. Yeah, I know. My brothers have been working on defense contracts in Alabama and Huntsville, Alabama, for decades, and so I'm familiar with, because I'll call them and I'll say, how's the biz? Oh, well, I'm on a new project working with a different company and this, so
It
I'm a
changes.
little
It's
familiar
rapidly
with that.
changing, and that's what we're finding. I mean, when you look at the mergers and acquisitions that have been happening, Raytheon being bought out, I think it was
Yeah.
United Technologies, 15,000 guys were laid off, and you're going, wow. Now all of those people almost at the same time are going out and saturating the market,
Right.
and people are going, yeah, I'll hire, but it's going to be at this rate
Right.
instead. So this way, if people have this type of platform, they're going to have some level of backup for their profession.
Safety net
Safety
in
net.
the engineering space.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting that, because we look at, what are your thoughts? Let's switch a little bit, because I think your app is an AI-based tool, right?
Partially.
Yeah. What do you see happening in the engineering space with regards to AI? And
There's so much research that's starting to come out because of how quickly AI is advancing. It's going to begin to start replacing a lot of the analysis, a lot of the testing, a lot of the things that are being found out that engineers would normally have to go through those processes. Now you'll be able to run the tests, have AI do the analysis. Why do you need those engineers?
Right.
So you have to take a look at that. Not all positions are going to be, replaced by AI, but a good portion. I mean, they're talking about 85 million people being displaced, and that's going to be small business or admins and stuff like this within the next couple of years. So my AI, it's an amazing tool. It's an amazing tool, but you need to get your hands on it. You need to be able to start learning it, start applying it. My son is going to Arizona State University, and he's going into aerospace engineering.
Okay.
So I've already given him some ideas on start learning the tools, get some student versions of those tools that have AI built into them. So you become the expert when you
Right.
get out, that you already start knowing how to be able to utilize that tool.
How you work within the AI space.
Absolutely.
Versus how you use AI to work within yours.
Right.
And, I mean, it's an interesting, because, just for me, I'm out of, I was with the AMD.
Mm-hmm.
I was an electrical engineer by education, moved to Silicon Valley, worked in the semiconductor industry for 13 years. But I've been out of that in more of the software side, doing online education. And it's a different. I use AI differently than what an
Right.
engineering,
I use it differently for
resource
my
would.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I see how it changes. Just for example, a quick contract or a quick, analysis of a deal. Is this a good deal for me? What are the gotchas? And type in the parameters and get that kind of feedback.
Absolutely, getting having an understanding, not totally. You still should check with your lawyer, but at least it's going to give you a good analysis about what's
now.
on that
I
contract.
send my lawyer the draft.
There you go.
As opposed to saying, I need a contract for this or that. I'll send him a draft, say, tell me what's missing, and then we'll go.
Absolutely.
So it's a big difference in the relationship I have with my attorneys, for example, my business attorneys.
That's true. And you're saving a lot of money, based on them developing it. And actually, a lot of attorneys are utilizing the same tools to create
it in the first place.
Right.
So I'm shortcutting that and saving a few bucks. So
absolutely. So we're all having to adapt to how are we going to integrate with AI and be able to stay active and stay as a proponent in your industry.
Yeah. So that will be the challenge going forward.
Absolutely.
Although you see a lot of, I think, motivation. We discussed this in another podcast, for people to go out on their own, because now they're not on their own.
Correct.
They have this agent and that agent in the form of an AI support tool that can help them build their business.
Right.
So the argument is, are we heading for the age of the single employee $1 billion company.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I absolutely, and matter of fact, that's why having the Cogen tool in helping people, it's more of a sales tool for these people to start feeling more confident on being able to go out on your own, so that you have something that's going to be feeding you opportunities for you to compete in.
okay.
So it's a perfect tool to be able to use, and people that want to work remote, on-site, hybrid, people that are open to travel to not open to travel.
Right.
Uh,
You figure it out.
you figure it out, and it's right there for you.
Yeah. Okay. Let's kind of transition into this. This was pretty exciting news for you today. Let's throw it up in front of the cameras here. So tell me a little bit about this. Fire Yourself. It's available now for our listeners.
Yes, absolutely. It's on Amazon and Kindle as an ebook.
Okay.
But the idea came up as part of the entire Cogen process, and also in preparation of that a lot more people are going to start becoming entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Next, I mean, we had the pandemic where people were laid off, or
They had no choice.
had no choice and had to work remotely.
Right.
A lot of people were displaced. So why not become your own entrepreneur? Take control of your career, be able to start expanding your capabilities. I mean, like I had mentioned earlier, that when I was pigeonholed into doing specific tasks,
Right.
I couldn't expand, I couldn't
Right.
grow.
Even if you tried,
even
they
if I
wanted
tried.
you to stay in your lane.
Exactly. What's going to happen when AI starts interceding and becoming part of the process, and they're saying, no, we don't want you to, that's not going to be for you.
Sure.
We're going to choose these people over here. So now you're excluded actually from being able to expand your overall capabilities. So this is a blueprint. Fire Yourself is a blueprint to help people not only develop the right mindset on becoming an entrepreneur, because you're going to hit those challenges like we talked about earlier. And how do you handle those situations? How do you handle it so that panic and fear and anxiety don't start taking over?
Okay. So is this a therapy lesson for wannabe entrepreneurs? Is it a how-to manual? Is it a blend of the two?
It's a blend. It's a blend all the way from having being able to create the right mindset to understanding what true customer service is.
Okay.
Especially in the high-tech industry, a lot of 1099 and companies that bring outside resources in to help are a lot of times criticized by the employees. They don't want to see their jobs taken away. They don't want to have the work taken away. So they can be critical. So this helps to handle that mindset as well, so that you know exactly how to be able to treat them as your teammates, that you're there to really help them and build and support them, to make them look good. So it also deals with how to also be able to determine what your billing rate is. Billing rates on one side of the country, in the center of the country, to the other end, it changes. So it also teaches you how to be able to learn how to determine what your bill rate is. And then the last part, and I'm just kind of going through it quickly, is the last part is you've got to be able to keep your personal life intact while you're doing this, because it was the values that you had originally that you need to be able to retain. Make sure your family is connected to you, because it's really easy to, when you start getting excited or you start having problems in the business, you start having a lot more focus in it.
Right.
And then you have to pull that focus away from your family, your friends, whomever. And so now by being able to keep them up front and foremost in your life is what keeps the true balance of being a great entrepreneur.
So setting your priorities and keeping them, always having the most important things remain the most important things.
Absolutely.
Even when you have challenges to overcome.
Absolutely. We have to understand that our creation comes from the base of values that we live on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
And by retaining those, then you can keep growing that business.
Sounds good. So what inspired you to write the book? How'd you have the time? You run a successful business, you got a startup company in funding stage.
This was another something that kept me awake at night too was
I bet.
it's a lot. It's been a lot, but I started to want to learn how to really market myself, and one of the ways that was introduced to me was become an authority in this and become
Okay.
an author, and so I had all the items listed out. I created an outline. I was able to hire not a co-author, but kind of a support ghost author, ghostwriter for me,
Ghostwriter
just to help support me. I wrote the material, but I'm not a writer.
Sure.
And so I needed somebody to kind of go in and help clean it up and structure it for me a little better. So this has been a process over the last 2.5 years.
All right. Very cool. Well, congrats. So it just came
Yes.
available on the market.
Yes, and matter of fact, I was Raymond Aaron wrote. He's the chicken soup guy, and he actually wrote the foreword for me on it, and awarded me a publisher's gave me a publisher's award for the book.
Very cool. So anything else in your future? I guess right now we just talked about it. Your son just started at Arizona State University.
All right.
So now you got all that extra time, right? The
No.
sun has moved out. The old saying, when the kids move out and the dog dies, is when you have true freedom.
It's true freedom, but I'm still structuring everything. I'm as you mentioned earlier about putting together investors for my Cogen platform, because I want to get this baby launched and I want it launched big, and as well as being able to, having this book is it's great. It's a tool, but I've also thought about and putting together a consulting or coaching platform to help deal with more specific items and issues and people transitioning and becoming entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Because there's, I think, every entrepreneur needs help. You don't act like a silo, like you should know it all and be it all and all this. You should get as much help as possible, and I want to be able to offer my experience and expertise on that.
That's what we're all about here on the show. So, shameless plug. How would I go about finding this? So you said on Amazon.
On Amazon,
and it's Fire Yourself.
Fire Yourself: A Simple Way to Self-Direct Your Career.
All right. And so, I mean, I could be in a corporate job right now or working for a small business as an employee, get a hold of this, take a few notes out of your journey on the things I should do to prepare myself for being my own boss.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And then what about for the platform for
Cogen?
Cogen?
On that,
is that anything functional today, or it's still?
No, it's functional. Matter of fact, I'm going through the final beta testing. I have a couple of companies that are they are companies that find contractors or even contingent workers for the Department of Defense. And after speaking with them, they were very interested in using something like this because of the amount of time it takes for them to do a posting and find and get the responses back with the right people is quite lengthy.
Right.
If they can have something to where the moment that they put the posting there, every engineer that matches the base requirements will get notified immediately. And then they have 48 hours or actually 24 hours to respond back saying, I'm interested, not interested, it's not within my within my field, or I have questions. And then you can go through a couple of rounds of that so that everybody can be able to find out more details. So you're eliminating a lot of the back and forth. And then by the 8th, 9th day, you create a short list. And then on the 10th day, you could set up all your appointments for doing interviews.
Interviews. Okay. Yeah. And then when do you think that'll be
I'm looking
ready
for October.
So are you looking for more beta test companies, or are you comfortable?
I'm looking for, absolutely. I'd like to be able to get more beta testers. I'd like to get that experience. I'd like beta testers for the engineers. I call them members on there. So it'll be a low annual subscription but the best part about it is even if you're a full-time employee, it may come up that you could find another opportunity that's going to pay you a little more.
Could pay you more, or maybe do some, side work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll keep an eye out for it. We'll get back to you and announce it when you're ready for it to go big time.
Perfect. That sounds
All
great.
right. And then everyone, thanks for joining us for today's episode. Write a review if you liked it. If you didn't, give us your feedback. Like us on whatever podcast platform you watch us or listen to us on, and we'll catch you on a future episode.